All right, guys. Actually, I should be more formal. My fellow Missourians, my fellow Americans, it's a rough night. Been a rough week. It's been a bad week. We got a tough year ahead of us, but let me tell you, I know that we are going to win this. This funding bill, this appropriations bill that got passed by the United States House and the United States Senate, is the last gasp of prohibition. Mitch McConnell and Andy Harris, a congressman from Maryland, them putting this hemp ban, this THC ban, in a funding bill shows you how weak our opposition is, because they couldn't get this done through the regular through the regular legislative process. They had to hijack the government funding, the appropriations process to get this done. They had to cheat. They had to rig the game. They had to tilt the playing field. They had to disrupt and the entire process of opening the government to get this done, right? Because they know that on an even playing field, the traditional legislative process where we get to debate, where we get to have amendments, where we have committee hearings and bring witnesses, in that traditional, that appropriate process, they can't win. So they had to cheat. That's what happened tonight, right? And the fact that they had to do that shows you how weak they are. And it shows you that we have a pathway. We have a pathway to victory. And that pathway we're going to walk down that road together. And I'll say this about that. Like I said, this is the last gasp of prohibition. We have been under prohibition of cannabis for 100 years, right? Some states have legalized marijuana or medical marijuana, and we got a little taste of freedom, real freedom, when President Trump signed the 2018 Farm Bill. And over the last several years, as that market expanded, and many of you participated in that market and served your fellow Americans as patients and consumers, we got a little taste of freedom. But let me tell you, once you taste freedom, there's nothing like it. We're going to win this 100%. Congress is going to take up this issue full-heartedly in January, February, once the year turns over. We're already planning fly-ins and visits from here in Missouri and around the country to Washington, D.C., to Capitol Hill. We got a year to set this right, and let me tell you something. There's a lot of people, a lot of Americans, a lot of Missourians who are pissed off right now. A lot of people who are angry about how we've been treated, how the system has been rigged against us. And we're going to take up our tools, our weapons, our words, our votes, and we're going to turn this around. I give you my word. I've been in this for 17 years. I remember in 2008, 2009, none of this shit was legal. We have seen the world change. We've seen our country change a huge amount in the last 10, 15, 20 years. We are on the precipice of winning this. Winning this for the next generation. Winning this for our fellow Americans. And you all know me. You've seen me for years. You've seen me survive just about everything that our opposition has thrown at me, just about everything the world has thrown at me. And I ain't complaining. You look at my eyes, you look at my smile, I know we're going to win this. I know how we're going to win this. We need to stand together. We need to work together. And just think about the last 3 years of this fight here in Missouri. Think about that as practice. We're in the third quarter. I'm here in Kansas City on the plaza, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. I always tell people when the Chiefs are playing, never give up faith in Patrick Mahomes. But, on a more abstract level, I don't have faith in politicians. I don't have faith in very many things, but I know you guys, and you guys know me, and you know who I have faith in? I have faith in you. I have faith in my fellow Missourians. I got faith in John and Kara Grady. I got faith in Kevin Halderman. I got faith in Jay Patel. I got faith in my man, Jake Silverman. I got faith in Deb Nash down in Southwest Missouri. I got my faith in, my buddy Martin Baker and Cape. I got faith in Jamie Turner down in Poplar Bluff. Dexter, Boot Hill area. I got faith in my friends in Chillicothe. I got faith in my friends in Hannibal. I'm from St. Louis. I got faith in my bro, Emmett Monslow, here in Kansas City. And I'm proud to work for Vince Sanders at American Shaman and a lot of other, significant players in this market. And not just for that, I'm not just here for them, but, from 17 years ago, I remember the first, real advocates for veterans and special needs families and other people who understood the promise and the potential and the healing that this plant medicine could bring them. And that's what I'm here for. This fight is not about THC. This fight is not about CBD. It's not about this or that. This fight is about American freedom. It's about liberty. Do you love being free? Right? United States of America is the greatest place in the world because we have the constitutional liberty and the freedoms guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights and our individual state constitutions. And every generation is different. 250 odd years ago, General George Washington crossed the Delaware River in the middle of the night, in the middle of winter, and changed the course of human history by defeating the British while they slept. It's that spirit. It's that spirit of freedom, that love of freedom, that love of individual liberty, and that unbroken line of thought and belief from George Washington to John Adams to John Hancock to Thomas Jefferson, President Thomas Jefferson, to Frederick Douglass, to Abraham Lincoln, to us. We are the descendants of that intellectual tradition. We are the descendants of that hope and that freedom that's nowhere else in the world, and that is what this fight is about. It's about America. It's about freedom. It's about you and me as individual human beings in this country, as citizens of this great country. That's what this is about. And that is why, like I said, I don't trust in politicians. I work with them all the time. I'm in front of them all the time. They know me. Some of them trust me, some of them don't. That's okay. But I trust in my fellow Americans and my fellow Missourians. And if we rise up and we speak the truth, and if we show our fellow Americans that there's a pathway to a greater future, to a more perfect union, we will win this. I have no doubt. No doubt in my mind. And I'll try to do a more succinct and informative update in the morning, but for now, God bless you. We will win this, I assure you. But I need you to work with us, to unite around the state, around the country, and we will get this done. And hey, when this is all over, you come up to Kansas City, and let's have let's have a session. Let's speak as free Americans and enjoy the fruits of our labor and the benefits of our Constitution and our liberty. Good night.